part 3 and last part of the girl who worked for the BC List celebrity. Unfortunately, that's how the trip went. They didn't treat her very nice and treated her more like a slave and didn't care about her needs or her as a person at all. But one night when they were at dinner in Mexico, she was going back and forth from the table to the beach with the baby walking around and everything. So she gets back to the table and sees that there's a drink in front of her, which she didn't order. And the husband says, "Okay, let's all take a picture." And she said, "Oh, like I'm not gonna drink." And he said, "Oh, well, just do it for the picture." So they all cheers for the picture, and little did she know he was gonna use that for blackmail down the road. And then previously, before the trip, she let them know that she needs some time off after the trip, and reminding him while she was there, he said no, basically. And very professionally, she messaged him back and said, hopefully we'll be able to talk about this more because I do need that time off to spend with my dog and I have doctor's appointments. And he said, "Okay, come down right now." So she came out to the courtyard, and he said, basically, "If you don't work when we get back, you don't have a job." And again, she said, "I'm like, that's not gonna work for me." And he said, "Okay, well then you don't have a job and good luck finding a place at 9 o'clock at night in Mexico." So he basically was yelling at her, told her to get the F out. So she went up to her room and was packing her stuff and was crying very reasonably. I would be crying too. So she called her agent, and they called him and basically said, "No, you need to find a place for her to stay and you need to pay for her flight home." So someone on a golf cart came and picked her up to take her to her new room, and he noticed she was crying and he asked if she was okay. I guess they had noticed how she has been treated while they were there, and so he dropped her off at the new room, and a little bit later he came back with a bunch of food and told her that they were going to put it on him, which I feel like is pretty reasonable, if you ask me. Said she's never going to forget how the staff treated her and how grateful she was for them treating her so kindly. It came time for her flight, and usually it's about a 2-hour flight home from where they were at, and her flight was a 13-hour flight. So he probably paid more for this extra long flight day just to make her life harder. And I forgot to mention at the beginning, they were in first class while she was in coach with the baby, which I feel like is pretty messed up as well. But anyway, so she finally gets home and talks to her agent, and her agent wants her to write everything down because he's threatening to sue, and used that picture that they took in Mexico, the cheering picture, and said that she's not fit to be a nanny because of her alcoholism. And said that she always had a drink in her hand and tried to basically ruin her. So, but because of her agent and because she was telling her everything along the way, obviously she believed the nanny and told her, "Don't worry about it, we'll work it all out." She was also getting text threats from him, basically saying that it will be my sole mission to destroy you if you try to say anything about them. So this guy's just not a good dude. He owes her money still to this day, and just because of everything that happened and how crazy he is, she is just letting it go because she doesn't even want to deal with him and is still just nervous about everything that has happened. So first off, I'm so sorry they had to deal with this, and you deserve way better than that. The point of the story is, don't let people treat you like crap, especially if they're paying you a lot, especially if they have more money than you. Whatever the case is, don't let people treat you like crap, and you will find a job where people will treat you with kindness.